Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Ranter is back to go into yet another rambling diatribe of the news of the day. And this is really not going to be about the news of the day or anything. It's going to be about Barbie. Yeah, I went to see Barbie with my person, and how did I think about it? Well, did I like it or not? No, sir, I didn't like it. But I did not hate it. I recognize that I am not the audience for it. So, as far as the movie goes and the message goes and any of that, for its audience, it's perfectly fine. It has no problems whatsoever. It's not a threat. It's not melodramatic. It's fine. It's an entertaining movie. In fact, for it, something that I would not like, it got a chuckle and a half out of me for certain spots or some little intelligent quips in there. This is not going to be a review of Barbie, because I'm not a movie reviewer. What this is really about is my reaction to people's reaction to Barbie, and how ridiculously sad and pathetic people are towards a movie about Barbie. You see, I understand that being anti-woke is the new bandwagon that people are jumping on, and how, everything now that you don't particularly like is now woke, and so you must, see it destroyed. Marsha Blackburn is whining about wokeness in washing machines and dishwashers. So, okay. People are making their whole political campaigns after being anti-woke. People are going to ridiculous lengths about being anti-woke, to the point of having curriculums in Florida, history classes, trying to make the claim that there was a benefit in slavery. We will get to that video later. But the people that go to ridiculous lengths towards this movie, Barbie, is pretty sad and pretty pathetic. And it makes me, days later after watching this, kind of re-examine Barbie. That maybe there was something I missed in the beginning that I'm starting to realize, which actually makes Barbie, as a concept and as a movie, pretty freaking inventive. Alright, now, I'm not going to go into spoilers. I'm not going to go into too much details concerning the movie. As it says, this is not really a movie review. I'm going to go through what people's criticism about the movie is. They're saying that it's so woke, it's pro-feministic, it's Chinese propaganda. I don't know where that came from. But it's Chinese propaganda, and it's so anti-man, and this and that, and there is terminology and rhetoric that is set up to be, to establish their wokeness and being pro-feminine and against the establishment, against the patriarchy. But here's the deal. When I was watching it, I started to recognize is that they were using these terminologies in blatant, overt, and even comedic ways. Meaning that they were overemphasizing it in doing so on purpose. The function of the movie was, the one part starts out with Barbie and Barbie Land and this perfect world for Barbie, and then it shifts over to the real world through the circumstances of the movie. It's saying that it's not all the way that it's supposed to be, and some circumstances within the real world goes back to Barbie Land, and hilarity ensues on it flipping the script of it being completely the other way around in terms of the patriarchy taking over Barbie Land. Until at the end of the whole thing, it falls back down into the middle ground, where it's neither about, being pro-women or the patriarchy, but trying to find that even level of equality between the genders. Because when you hear one of the characters is trying to explain to Barbie what it is to be a real woman, and I'm listening to her, she's not making big old flashy political statements here. She is making common sense as to what is being depicted as a real world woman and or girl have to go through in their lives. That is not a controversial statement or anything. That is what is being depicted as what these people go through in our world. If this is a threat to you, I am sorry for you. So that all said, and I'll go into a little bit about the ingenious part of this in a moment. The reaction to it from Matt Gaetz' new wife that he picked up at the Sadie Hawkins dance at the local high school said that people should boycott this movie. And to the point of Ben Shapiro trying to make a masculine anti-woke statement about his critiquing of this movie by buying Barbie dolls, giving Mattel so much profits to buy so many Barbie dolls so he can, on camera, burn them. As long as you're giving Mattel money to buy their shit, they don't really care what you do with it. But I mean, if that's the flex that you need to do to make yourself feel better on a movie that wasn't made for you, give them money, whatever. He complained that he was like the only guy in there, and the rest were like mothers and little girls. Are you surprised? I suppose you are. But people are jumping on this bandwagon, and they go do segments on Fox News, and they're making a political statement for their opposition to a Barbie movie and equating it to being anti-woke. So they don't want to be woke. Barbie's woke somehow, and so we must be against it. Barbie is against capitalism. The concept of Barbie, I mean, for decades, for people who don't even know about Barbie or play about Barbie, but knows Barbie is part of the zeitgeist and the lexicon of our understandings, is that, it's the concept of it is being the perfect female, living the perfect life, being all the things that a woman should want to be or can be. It's a weird statement to say that, is that it's for the imagination of the girl and or woman or young woman, because what Barbie is supposed to represent, the very successful woman in whatever field Barbie is being at that moment in time in the doll, and it's supposed to be aspirational and inspirational. The weird part of it is that why I say there's a little bit of ingeniousness when it comes to this movie is that they have a representation of the too woke, which runs into conflict initially with Barbie when Barbie meets her, and how Barbie is a symbol of fascism, that the impossible body image, all the circumstances of even what Barbie's supposed to represent could never be met by a real woman. And so it's people that strive for this is like setting themselves up for failure, because Barbie is the stylized idealism of a perfect woman that came from the mind of a man, or mass produced by the mind of the man. The system, how Mattel is represented, is this whole group of men who are trying to sell the imagined dream of women through Barbie. So they don't want the bubble burst. They don't want women to feel like they're being taken for granted or this or that. They want people to still be aspirational in order to buy their dolls. But the actuality is that, there's no real woman in charge of any of this, and this is just glad handing and head patting. But she meets this person that she initially thinks is the person that used to play with her as a doll. There's a weird thing that happens in between Barbie Land and the real world, that there's a connection between whatever happens to the Barbie is representative of those who played with her. So there's this little thing that happens with Barbie that compels her to go to the real world and figure things out. And this girl that she meets just slams her for about 50 years of just fascist representation of women. And which destroys this Barbie who doesn't know any better, because this Barbie thought that she was the epitome of what women wants to be. The movie moves on where, they go the opposite direction, where the Ken develops takes the concept of the patriarchy from the real world, where he sees men, they're not not the side piece, the accessories, but they're running shit, and he tries to take that back to Barbie Land, so all the Kens become patriarchy. But that goes far to the extreme in the other direction, and so Barbies take Barbie Land back, but then instead of it being, that woman-centric Barbie Land, it becomes, eventually will be equal, and both sides will have anything they want, but still Barbie's control for now, in any event. None of that's really bothering. I mean, because it's supposed to be set in an imaginary land to begin with. But the good message out of it is that, it's not about one side or the other side. It's about understanding each other and recognizing when there's a problem to help fix the problem. And it was brought up in the actual movie, where one of the people that was important to Barbie in the real world, talks to the CEO, says, why don't we just have an ordinary woman be Barbie? It doesn't have to be the perfect, physical perfect 10. It doesn't have to be, a CEO or an astronaut or any of this stuff, but just someone to represent the regular woman or young woman or girl. And that's an interesting concept, because I kind of remember a few years ago when there was a push for a body realistic Barbie, and people pushed back against that, and they didn't want that. Some of these people didn't want that, and it always confused me as to why. So that's all that's happening in this movie. Again, not trying to review it, not trying to do spoilers or any of this stuff. I'm just trying to be speaking in the broad, vague strokes here. But why it's ingenious is that I know one of the reasons why me and my person went to go and see this was, I think she thought the way that I thought, that there was going to be this over-the-top, feministic propaganda, that all these anti-woke folk were all whining and bitching and complaining about, that we were going to see this and so, oh yeah, this is over the top, oh yeah, and then we'll find it funny. We didn't see that. We saw examples of that, but the examples were done in a manner that the message that they're trying to push, that was supposed to be this pro-feminist, totally woke thing, it came off not serious. It came off over the top. Intentionally over the top. And so when it dawned on me is that why they did that is that this could very well be the perfect troll movie. Think about it. These people, like Ben Shapiro and whomever else is who on the right, these right individuals who are making bullshit over Barbie, are generating attention towards Barbie. Look, Barbie is horrible. We should boycott Barbie. I'm burning Barbies because I'm upset because me, as a mid-40s guy that is doing videos. This was totally not my movie, so I have to show my anti-wokeness by burning plastic. Damaging the ozone, but whatever. All their theatrics in a stereo adds to the curiosity as to what the F is this about? What is making grown men and political people who lose their genders because they're more political operatives than they say are men or women clutch their pearls and get their panties in a wad over Barbie? Before I went into this movie, I was just going, what are you doing? This is Barbie. This is Barbie. This is the height of capitalistic consumerism. You should be happy to see this. For decades and decades and decades, Barbie has been like this, selling off the imagined dream of young girls and women and that they could be anything that they want through Barbie, so that they can imagine that and then live their everyday lives in reality and then realize that, their real life is nothing like Barbie. Except for the privileged few. And even the privileged few that do are not living like Barbie. They're living like themselves. Because they are accomplished and intelligent, have opportunities, and know what the hell they're doing. And that particular opportunity, if you gave that without blinders on, with the same faith basis that you would give that to men, they would be far more accomplished young ladies and women. But I digress. Somehow that's probably a woke statement of like giving people equality. So this movie intentionally goes over the top in certain aspects to draw the ire and attention of people like Ben Shapiro, who wants the be on the bandwagon of being anti-woke. So they see the movie, oh, so dramatic. And they do their review of it and burn Barbies. And that makes people, schmucks like me, go, they're so dramatic over Barbie. I gotta see what all this is all about. And when I see it, I go, what the hell is wrong with you people? And that's the genius. Barbie hit majorly in the box office. Barbie and Oppenheimer, major wins at the box office. Major money is going to them. And for Barbie in particular, would it be funny in the greatest of ironic senses that Barbie got a lot of its money from people like me who still was dragged to it, still didn't like it, but understood why I didn't like it. I don't hate it, but I appreciate the actual message hidden underneath the flailing, dramatic message that people are claiming it has. They trolled you. They trolled you in having this reaction. Trolled you to disparage the movie, tell people not to watch the movie, buy Barbies and burn them. They made you jump around with all your theatrics. And in turn, people saw the theatrics going, what the hell is wrong with them? And go, I need to go and see what the hell's the problem is. And thus, like the Barbies that you bought, gave Barbie the movie the revenue, the profits, the clicks, the people getting their butts in the seat in the movie theater to find out what the hell are you bitching about. You did your job. Good job. People like you, Ben Shapiro, and people like Matt Gaetz' his young high school wife, and anybody else who talks about Barbie, especially in the religious sense, you are one of the major reasons why Barbie is such a hit. I did not like Barbie. I don't hate Barbie. Barbie is not a movie made for me. For the audience it was made for, it's a perfectly fine, acceptable movie. There is no danger. There is no melodramatic message other than what you're perceiving out of your mind. And when you sit down and realize, if you do not do the knee jerk, where first you hear the first word of patriarchy, and that's it. Oh, that's it. Movie's totally woke. That's it. Game over. And you actually sit through the actual thing and realize what the message actually is. That women and men, for that matter, can be on an equal footing, live in reality, be their own selves, not be the accessories of someone else. Like Barbie doesn't have to be in love with Ken to exist, and Ken doesn't have to be the side piece of Barbie, the accessory sold separately, to exist. That's actually a pretty decent message. From a people that complains about woke so much, that has yet to actually define what woke is, but knows it's something super awful, and considers this movie too woke. I feel sorry for you. The movie is just Barbie. If you're really that emotionally scarred over a movie about Barbie, then I will send you get well cards that I'll write myself, because I'm not pimping out my thoughts to Hallmark to pay for shit. That's all. That's all I really have. I'd like to thank the Ben Shapiro's and that ilk for helping Barbie be the success that it has. All because of your bullshit antics, because you got trolled. The Ranter rants, because the urge to rant is right. And hopefully I will be on a much more serious topic. Again, there's plenty of things out there that I would be happy to expound upon. But until then, be a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.